ಸಂಸಾರದವ ನಲಲಿದ ತ್ರಯಣಯ ಕಾರುಣ್ಯ ಘನ ಘನತ್ವಂ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಸ್ಯ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಗುಣಾರ್ಣವಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಂ. महाप्रभो कीर्तन नित्य गीता वादित्रमाद्यान् मनसो रसेन. रोमाञ्चकम्पासुतरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम्. श्रीविग्रहाराधन नित्यानाना शृङ्गारतन्मन्दिरमाजनादौ. युक्तस्य भक्तां च नयञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम्. चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत्प्रसाद स्वादन्न तृप्तान् हरिभक्तसङ्गान्. कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजतः सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम्. श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपारा माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्नाम्. प्रत्यक्षेणास्वादनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम्. निकुञ्जयूनो रतिकेलिसिद्धै यायालिभिर्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया. तत्रातिदाक्ष्यादतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम्. साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रैः उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव सद्भिः. किन्तु प्रभोया प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम्. यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि. ध्यायां तस्य यशस्त्रीसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् ध्यायां तस्य यशस्त्रीसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पात्यच देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah, Gopal Govinda Rama Sri Madhusudana, Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana, Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita, Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavat Gita, Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha, Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Radhe. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Bhakta Prahlad. Jaya Sita Ram Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Sudarshan Chakra. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
नृसिंहदेव की जय। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लाद लाददायिने हिरण्याकाशीपूर्वक्षः शिलटंका नखालाये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बाहिर नरसिम्हा हृदये नरसिम्हा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदये तव कर करम मरे नखाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलितो हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल वरे नखा अद्भुत श्रृंगार ललितो हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय हो नरसिंहदेव 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 जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज जय हो भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज जय हो लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय हो लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय हो लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय हो लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय हो प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा जय हो प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा जय हो प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा जय हो प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा जय हो नर हरि नर हरि नर हरि जय हो नर हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय शीला प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय शीला गुरुदेव विघ्न विनाशक मंगलकारी श्री नरसिंह भगवान की प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्णा प्रेयासी नमो नमः। नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्णा प्रेयासी नमो नमः। राधा कृष्णा सेवा पावो अभिलाषी। राधा कृष्णा सेवा पावो अभिलाषी। जेतो मारा शरण लो तारा वंच पूरन होय। कृपा कोरी खोरो तारे वृंदावन वासी। मोराए अभिलाष विलास कुंजे दियो वास। नयने हरि वो सदा युगल रूप राशि। निवेदन धारो साखीर अनुगत करो सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी। दीना कृष्ण दासे कोई ये न मोरा होए। श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये न भासी। श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये न भासी। नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्णा प्रेयासी नमो नमः। यानि कानि च पापानि भ्रमात्यधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणाशन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्याधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणाशन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्याधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणाशन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani. Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi. Nityay Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nityay Gaura Hari Bol, Nityay Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nityay Gaura Hari Bol. श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी वृंदा देवी की जय. वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रद देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः. वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रद देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः. वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रद देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः. श्रीमती तुलसी देवी महारानी की जय.
Of you has wishes fulfilled. Bestow mercy upon him and make him a resident of Vrindavana. My desire also grant me residence in the precious ghost of Shri Vrindavana town. Thus within my vision I shall always behold the beautiful paths of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow Kara Danso's virgin. Please give me the privileged devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulsi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 offenses in the matter of chanting holy names that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who dedicate their lives for the propagation of the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of the demigods like Lord Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the order of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literal pursuance of Vedic version. 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation of the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activity on strength of chanting holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritual activities. Offering the Veda, the fruit activities, Karma, Ganda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer most humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as high trees who can fulfill to everyone. They are full of compassion, fallen, conditioned souls.
Namaste, Saraswati
Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Cheto Darpanamarjanam Pavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chantrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purunarmita Sadhanam Sarvatmasnapanam Paravijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadeshi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Turudaiva Midisham Yaha Janina Nurakaha Trinatapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saishnuna Amanina Manatena Kirtanya Sadaharihi Na Thanam Na Janam Na Sundarin Kavitamba Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Jammani Jammanishvare Pavata Bhaktir Haituki Doi Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Pavam Puto Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stitaduri Satisham Vichintaya Nayanam Karadashiru Daraya Vadanam Katkada Rudaya Gira Pulakaya Nichitam Vapurukada Tava Nama Kane Bhavishyati Yugayitam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravisha Itam Shunyayitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahe Name Ashrishyava Padaratam Pinastumam Adarsanam Mahato Karotu Vaha Yata Tata Vavidatu Lampato Matpananatastu Saeva Na Paraha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Siksastakam Ki Jai. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditioned life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to the living beings, and thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I fall into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when flowing constantly when I chant your holy name, when will my voice choke up and when the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your holy name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before him. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Siksastakam Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. Shri Guru Pranama Prayers Ki Jai.
Om Aganyatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Rupam Tam Tam Sajivam Saidvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pradam Sahaguna Lalita Shri Vishakanivitam Sa Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutali Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskatya Desatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namini Shri Varsavanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhu Ujvala Primadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Ninatarine Rupanuga Viruda Papasiddhanta Taharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambhade Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachitananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravir Bhava Bhumestvam Nirdesta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Savabhoma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vanshakalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Premapadayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurichuse Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavatanam Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Namaste Chayatam Suratur Pangur Mama Mandamatir Gati Matsarva Swapadambo Jo Radha Madana Mohano Divyat Vindaranya Kraupatrimadaha Shimad Ratnagara Simhasanastito Shimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prastadi Bihi Sevyamano Smarami Shiman Vasara Saram Bivam Sivata Tatastita Karsan Venuswaner Gopir Gopinatak Sriyestuna Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Stute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Guru Pranama prayers ki jai Shri Brahma Samhita ki jai Ishwara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Prakara Satma Sakalpa Vriksha Laksha Vitesu Suravira Vipaliantam Lakshmi Sahasra Sat Sambrahma Sevyamana Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venam Kwananda Madhavindata Taksham Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpa Kotika Maniya Vishesha Sobham Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandra Kalasadvana Madhya Vamsi Ratnam Gadam Panaya Keli Kalavalasam Shamam Tribanga Lalita Nita Prakasam Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakalendri Vrittimanti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiranjaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadujvala Vikrahasya Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedesa Durlabham Durlabham Atma Bhakto Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Satsavasajam Samparamyo Vayora Tapi Maso Manipungamanam So Pyasti Yat Prapadasimya Vichintya Tattve Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ekopya Sora Chaitam Jagadanda Kotim Yaschakti Rasti Jagadanda Chaya Yadanta Adantarasta Paramanu Chayatarastam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yad Bhava Bhavita Dio Manajasta Taiva Samprapya Rupa Mahima Samyana Bhusa Sukta Yamevin Patitastuvanti Vindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasapati Bhavita Bhista Birya Eva Nichurupataya Kalabi Goloka Eva Nivasata Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Premanjana Chiruta Bhakti Vilochanena Santaksa Deva Hidesa Vilokayanti Yam Sham Sundaram Jaguna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ramadi Murti Sukalani Menitista Nanavataram Apkarod Bhuvanesu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramam Pumamyo Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he's the prime cause of all causes. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock feather, and a figure of beauty tinged in the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shamsundar is eternally manifest. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure, unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth. Go ahead, next. I worship Govinda.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane extending over thousands of millions of years. He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and at the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore. I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confident Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shamsundara Krishna himself with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions.
Shri Brahmasamhita ki jai. Glorification of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadyasya yata niviyad itaratas chartesu vigyaswarat tene brahma hidaya adikavaye muyanti yatsurayaha tejo varim mridam yata vinimayo vata trisargo misha damna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen on fire, or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of material nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore although they're unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Dharma pujita kaitravudra nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapa trayon mulanam. Shrimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Vaparir Ishvaraha Sadyo Hridya Varudyate Tra Kriti Bihi Sususubhistakshana. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.3. Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam Sukhamukad amrita dravya samyatam Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam Muhur aho raska bhuvi bhavukaha. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paskatya Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktavindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Grantaraj Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So today we are reading Canto 3, Chapter 9, verses 27 and 28. Atabi pretam aviksya Brahmano Madhusudana Visana Chetasam Tena Kalpa Vyatikaram Basa. Okay, we'll do that over again one more time. Atabi pretam aviksya Brahmano Madhusudana Vishana Chetasam Tena Kalpa Vyatikaram Basa. Loka samstana vijnana Atmana parikidyata Tam aha gadaya vacha kasmalam samayan iva. Ata, thereupon, adipritam, intention, avikshya, observing, brahmana, of Brahma, Madhusudana, the killer of the Madhu demon, Visana, depressed, Chetasam, of the heart, Tena, by him, Kalpa, millennium, Vyatikara ambasa, devastating water, Lokasamstana, situation of the planetary system, Vijnane, in the science, Atmana, of himself, Parikidyata, sufficiently anxious, Tam, unto him, said, Agadaya, deeply thoughtful, Vacha, by the words, Kasmalam, impurities, Samayan, removing, Eva, like that. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The Lord saw that Brahma was very anxious about the planning and construction of the different planetary systems and was depressed upon seeing the devastating water. He could understand the intention of Brahma, and thus he spoke in deep, thoughtful words, removing all the illusion that had arisen. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Who would like to read? Anybody?
Purport by His Grace, Srila Prabhupada.
Louder.
The devastating water was so fearful that even Brahma was perturbed as its appearance and became very anxious about how to situate the different planetary systems in outer space to accommodate the different kinds of living entities, such as the human beings, those lower than the human beings, and the superhuman beings. All the planets in the universe are situated according to the different grades of living entities under the influence of the modes of material nature. There are 3 modes of material nature, and when they are mixed with one another, they become 9. When the 9 are mixed, they become 81, and 81 also become mixed, and thus we ultimately do not know how the delusion increases and increases. Lord Brahma had to accommodate different places and situations for the requisite bodies of the conditioned souls. The task was meant only for Brahma, and no one in the universe can even understand how difficult it was. But by the grace of Lord, Brahma was able to execute the tremendous task so perfectly that everyone is amazed to see the workmanship of the Vidhata, or the regulator.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord saw that Brahma was very anxious about the planning and construction of the different planetary systems, and was depressed upon seeing the devastating water. He could understand the intention of Brahma, and thus he spoke in deep, thoughtful words, removing all the illusion that had arisen. Well, this is exactly what is necessary. Living entities, and Brahma is a living entity like us, he's a jiva. We get confused in different situations of life. And unless there is bona fide Siksha and Diksha gurus, there's no way of getting rid of that confusion. But when we do meet bona fide devotees, they speak very slowly and, as it says here, speak in deep, thoughtful words, removing all the illusion that has arisen. So that is exactly what we need. We need to hear these deep, thoughtful words, removing all the illusion that has arisen. Because almost every day, we become confronted with situations that are, let's say, confusing. People get angry. People form cliques. Your best friend becomes your worst enemy. All kinds of crazy things happen. People talk harshly. This causes confusion. So there has to be somebody in our life who's able to speak deep, thoughtful words, removing all the illusion that has arisen. So that was Lord Krishna. Brahma was confused. He didn't know how he's going to make all these different places, and each one adapted to the particular consciousness of the people. Some people are higher, some people are lower, some people are demigods. How is he going to do all this? It's very complicated. But yet, because Brahma was completely surrendered to Krishna, he wasn't puffed up. He said, I don't need Krishna's help. I can do it on my own. No. He completely depended on Krishna. What do you accept? What do you think? He's seeing the devastating waters inundating the whole universe. What can you do in a situation like that? You have there's no recourse. There's no way you can deal with that. Only Krishna can make that subside. And then all those different places have to be created according to the modes of material nature of the people, some very low, some middle, some advanced. It's extremely complicated, but Brahma was able to do it. Because he was not puffed up. He was completely surrendered to the Lord. So that is the real position of the shiksha, the disciple. They should be completely surrendered to Krishna, the original guru, and to the present gurus, and also to the guru within, Paramatma. You see, so there's 360 degrees of guru. If you think about it carefully, it's not that you can't say, well, I don't know, I don't see anybody that's a guru. No, that's because you're blind. There are gurus everywhere, right? And you just have to open your eyes. And when you, like, for example, I remember before I was a devotee, I was praying to God, because I was a Christian. I was praying to God, please, show me some light here. I'm failing all the time. I want to know, who you are. I want to know how to engage in a relationship. So, because I was praying like that, all of a sudden, I met the devotees. So my prayer was answered, right? Not in the way I was expecting, but it was answered in the right way. So usually when you pray to God, I'm failing. I don't know what's happening to me. I don't know what direction to take. I'm confused. Please help me. Now, you might not even know who God is, but there must be some God, and you're praying, right? And then Krishna will send someone to you. Now, whether you can recognize that or not, that's another question. I was fortunate enough to recognize that these devotees, although they look crazy, I thought they were crazy. And some of them were. But the person behind them was not crazy. That's what I realized, that Prabhupada was not crazy. Because I could tell that from reading the Bhagavad Gita. then I realized, look, I mean, normally I would never associate with these people because some of them are crazy, right? But they're crazy about Krishna. So that's the saving grace. And although I wasn't so keen about their association, I understood that behind them was this gigantic personality called His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And I was able to recognize that here is a great opportunity for me to be able to associate with a pure devotee. So therefore I gave up everything I was doing. I gave up my scholarships, I gave up all my plans, and I decided to do something I never did before. Surrender. See, Krishna consciousness is based on surrendering. Surrendering one's thoughts, surrendering one's energy, surrendering one's desires, everything, let's say, redirected toward pleasing Guru and Krishna. Once you do that, then everything becomes clear in your life. You no longer have any dualities. You don't have to say, well, should I do this, should I do that, do this thing, that thing. No, whatever Krishna wants, that's what I'm going to do. Karishe vachanam tava. Nastamoha smitir labva tat prashadat mohichita. Stitosmi gata sandeha karishe vachanam tava. So this is a very important verse. Let's take a look at that. Is it at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, and it is. Sometimes people say, well, Arjuna, he had Krishna 5,000 years ago, but we don't have Krishna right now, so I can't really surrender. I don't know what to do. People talk to all kinds of nonsense like this. So now we're going to understand from 2 verses right at the end of Bhagavad Gita. Nastamoha smitir labba. Arjuna, well, first of all, Krishna says, O son of Prita Arjuna, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? And when he's talking about heard this, he's talking about Bhagavad Gita, which is right at the end of the Bhagavad Gita. This is the 18th chapter, 72nd and 73rd verse. Have you heard this with an attentive mind? And are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? So Krishna is asking a serious question. Look, we just spent an hour here in the middle of this battlefield right before everybody's going to kill each other. And we discussed the most important things, how to surrender to God, how to serve God with love and devotion, who is God, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything was explained by Krishna to Arjuna. And he says, have you heard this with an attentive mind? And are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? So Krishna is acting as the spiritual master of Arjuna. Therefore, it was his duty, or Krishna's duty, to inquire from Arjuna whether he understood the whole Bhagavad Gita in its proper perspective. If not, the Lord was ready to re-explain any point or the whole Bhagavad Gita if so required. That's a real guru. Actually, anyone who hears Bhagavad Gita from a bona fide spiritual master like Krishna or his representative will find that all his ignorance is dispelled. Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book written by a poet or fiction writer. It is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any person fortunate enough to hear these teachings from Krishna or from his bona fide spiritual representative is sure to become a liberated person and get out of the darkness of ignorance. Wow, this is amazing. Amazing statements. And now the most amazing statements. Nastamohi smita ladva. So Arjuna says, oh my dear Krishna, now na asti mohi. All my illusion is gone. Smitir Labha. I can remember who I am. I'm your eternal servant. And he says, Nastamohi Smitir Labha. Tat Prashadat Mayuchata. Krishna, this is your best prasad. So, prasad, you usually think, oh, a nice, nice preparations. But no, here he's saying, this is the best prasad. You have taken away all my moha, all my illusions. And that is actually a fact. When we're no longer illusioned, that means we're liberated. We know what the truth is. We know what to do. In every situation, we know exactly how to act. Right? So that is the best prasad. Nasti mohir smitir labha. Tat prasadat mayuchyata. This is your best prasad, Krishna. You have cleared away all my illusions, all these misconceptions, all this different theories that I've been taught. We come from monkeys. It all started with a Big Bang. Oh no! The Big Bang is old, full theory now. There's a new, bigger bang. This is crazy stuff, right? I mean, if I was a science teacher, I'd look at it and say, "This is all nonsense." For 30 years they're saying Big Bang, Big Bang, Big Bang, Big Bang. And now they're saying no bang, no bang, no bang. Then what's the truth, you see? And look it up. See if it says Big Bang has been debunked. This is how crazy the whole educational system is. So then Arjuna says, this is your best prasadam, Krishna, for me. Stitosmi gata sandeha. Now I'm situated in my right position as your eternal servant. Gata sandeha. And I don't have any doubts. I know who you are. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I don't have any doubts about that, Krishna. Karisya vachanam tava. Now, Krishna, whatever you say, that is what I'm going to do. That's the highest statement of faith. Karisya vachanam tava. So what does it say about the Big Bang?
The Big Bang hypothesis, which states the universe has been expanding since it began 14 billion years ago in a hot and dense state, is contradicted by the new James Webb Space Telescopic images.
Did you know that? It's been contradicted. Did you know that? They're still teaching it in school. Big Bang, Big Bang, Big Bang, Big Bang. Big hoax, big hoax, big hoax, big hoax. See? Even after it's been debunked, they're still teaching the nonsense. This is how crazy people have become. Anybody else see that? Anybody else? Give him the microphone, please.
So here is another article about the trouble with the Big Bang. And then here it says, did the Big Bang happen? And has the James Webb Telescope found evidence against Big Bang? So here it talks about, let's call the Big Bang the number one at the beginning of the universe. It's what most people think the expression means. This Big Bang is what we find in mathematics of Einstein's general relativity if we extrapolate the current expansion of the universe back in time. The equations say that matter and energy in the universe becomes denser and hotter until eventually about 13.7 billion years ago in the past, both density and temperature become infinite. We cannot extrapolate any further back in time, so it's fair to say that this event, if it happened, would be the beginning of the universe.
If it happened. This is all speculation. And now they're having doubts about the whole theory. You see?
Yeah, so here continuing further, it says, we have no evidence that Big Bang event happened. We cannot look back in time anywhere near that long ago. The earliest direct observation we have is formation of cosmic microwave background, which was formed about 400,000 years
I
ago
don't even know if that's true.
after the hypothetical Big Bang event. It was a hypothetical.
Yeah,
They just extrapolating and
it's all junk. It's all junk theories, right?
yeah.
And after believing, oh, now we got the answers, Big Bang. Now they say, well, no, we don't have the answers. You see, this is cheating. This is cheating. This is not science. Science is observation, experimentation, theory, right? Yes.
And here they are saying.
But first of all, let me ask you a question. Did you know this?
No, I didn't know.
You're just learning it now.
Yeah, I just learned.
You see. Go ahead.
Says, since the hypothesis has been defended for decades as unquestionable truth by the vast majority of cosmological theorists, the new data is causing these theorists to panic. Right now, I find myself
That means they're getting constipated.
He says,
They can't pass stool. They're so upset. Go ahead.
Right now, I find myself lying awake at 3 in the morning, says Alison Kirkpatrick, an astronomer at the University of Kansas in Lawrence, and wondering if everything I have done is wrong.
Hey, I want you to send me that. I want you to send me
Okay, and it says it's not too complicated to explain why these too small, too smooth, too old, and too numerous galaxies are completely incompatible with the Big Bang hypothesis. Let's begin with too small. If the universe is expanding, a strange optical illusion must exist. Galaxies or any other objects in expanding space do not continue to look smaller and smaller with increasing distance. Beyond a certain point, they start looking larger and larger. This is because their light is supposed to have left them when they were closer to us. This is a sharp contrast to ordinary non-expanding space.
All right. Anyway, we get the idea.
So this one, they say here, put another way, the galaxies that the JST shows are just the same size as the galaxies near to us, assuming that the universe is not expanding, and redshift is proportional to distance. So that proves that.
It's all nonsense. It's blah, blah, blah nonsense. And she can't go to sleep. She's awake 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, for all these years we said Big Bang, Big Bang, Big Bang, and now there's no bang. Right? You see, this is the reality. The reality is it's all fake. It's not science. I'm not making this up. The scientists themselves are explaining that, we misled the people the last 40, 50 years with this Big Bang theory. So then, now the real question comes. Who do you believe? Who do you believe? That's why this verse, 18th chapter, text 73. Arjuna Uvacha. Nastamoha smitir labva tat prasadat mayuchita stitasmi gatasandeha karisye vachanam tava. Now, Krishna, whatever you say, that's what I'm going to do. That means that you have become a real devotee. When you say that to Krishna, karisye vachanam tava, whatever you say, Krishna, that's what I'm going to do. Just like, let's say you're a mother or a father, right? And after spending thousands and thousands of dollars sending your kid to college where they can learn about the Big Bang, right? And other theories, LGBTQ, XYZ, and then gender liquidity, gender equality, gender equity, this thing, that thing, black history, all very important subjects, right? And they're all misleading. They're all about the body. So after all that, if your kid comes up to you and say, well, look, Mom, Dad, thank you for spending $200,000 sending me to college to learn about the Big Bang. And thank you very much for, getting me, funding me all these years. And I finally decided that I should go into IT, right? So I got to go back to school again now and get some more, after you spent all that money teaching me about Big Bang, now I got to go back and do some IT stuff so I can get a job. And then I can't get a job because there's no more IT jobs. They've been all taken away by AI. So, the whole thing is a merry-go-round of illusion, right? So anyway, the point is, they say, look, I've gone from one end of the extremity to the other, but I want to tell you right now, I give up listening to all this nonsense. Whatever you tell me to do, that's what I'm going to do. Would you be happy if you were a parent? Even though you wasted all that money sending them to college, and they suddenly realized, the whole thing was a hoax. And even their plan to become an IT, that's also a hoax because the AI took it all away, right? So then they said, look, whatever you tell me, you want me to open up, a vegetarian restaurant, I'll do it. You want me to take over the family business, farming, I'll do it. Whatever you say, that's what I'm going to do. Would you be happy? Yeah. Now, do you think Krishna is happy? Arjuna is saying, Kadishe Vachanam Tava. Whatever you say, Krishna, that's what I'm going to do. That's the highest statement of faith when you say that. Mom, Dad, whatever you say, that's what I'm going to do. Krishna, whatever you say, that's what I'm going to do. So, Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and am prepared to act according to your instructions. Okay, so we're going to discuss this tomorrow also. Now, I got a doctor's appointment early today, so we're going to stop right now, unless you have some questions. Tomorrow we're going to read the purport to this verse. And then we're going to answer the big question. What is the big question? The big question is, 5,000 years ago, Krishna was there speaking directly to Arjuna. Arjuna could see him. But I don't see Krishna today. And how do you expect me to believe God exists? And how do I know what God wants me to do? Arjuna found out because God was right there with him. But I don't see God. So how can I know what to do? So this question is answered also in the last verses of the Bhagavad Gita. And we're going to go over that tomorrow. So are there any questions? Now that you know for sure the Big Bang is a big bluff. There's no doubt about it now, right? Because that lady she's up until 3 o'clock in the morning worrying. We taught this thing for so many years and now it's falling apart. So any questions? You see how everything is in the Bhagavad Gita. You don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to read any other book.
Yeah, Maharaj, I think, this is obviously an opportunity also, because even our own devotees don't know some of this. I didn't also completely comprehend that using the latest technology, they are proving their own theories wrong. in a way. So can we actually, we may need to think about creating some social media awareness to debunk some of these theories, because I think obviously, yeah, we're spreading within small circles, but I think this is something that is opening an opportunity to create a broader awareness about some of the.
Prabhu, most people don't care a whit about this, whether the Big Bang is real or Big Bang is false. Both ways they're going to continue eating, sleeping, mating, and defending like animals. You say, now I don't want to be negative. Yes, we can try that. We can try that. Hey, we can go out in Sankirtan and say, with a big sign, Big Bang is over. You know, people come, what do you mean the Big Bang is over, man? The Big Bang has been true for the last 50 years. But believe me, most people are so intoxicated with Maya, it doesn't make a difference to them. Because they'll come up with another theory. Then another 50 years will go by, and then they'll renounce that theory, and then they'll come up with another theory. And the people are so stupid, they just go along. Why are they stupid? Because they're eating meat, they're engaging in illicit sex, they're taking intoxication, they're gambling. Unless they stop those 4 self-destructive habits, nobody's going to understand anything. That's what we have to convince people to do. Give up those 4 self-destructive habits. We're not saying become Hare Krishnas. We're not saying change your religion. We don't care you're a Christian. You can follow Christianity. You can follow Islam. So what? But give up these 4 things. Now, most people are going to argue, no, I can't give it up. My grandfather's been eating meat. My great-grandfather ate meat. My great-grandmother ate meat. She also smoked, right? And they lived to be 90 years old. So they'll come up with all these arguments, why they should not stop this or that. It's part of our tradition. Everybody in my family eats meat. But some people will, just like I did. Although I was a meat eater, I gave it up. So we should not be hopeless, but you have to understand that it's a rare thing. Manusyanam sahasresu, just that rare thing for a person to become a devotee. But Prabhupada was able to make thousands of devotees. So if we become trained up properly in practicing Krishna consciousness, we'll be able to convince other people to become Krishna conscious. But it's a hard process. It's not overnight. You have to be very patient with many people. Yeah. Sometimes you'll meet someone, they're completely ready to accept. They've been beaten so hard by Maya. They're ready to accept anything. And then sometimes you'll meet people who are very highly educated, and they'll just argue and argue and argue. Unfortunately. So you have to be patient, but look at Brahma. Brahma had to make all the planetary systems for all the different types of living entities in the material world. Just imagine how complicated that is. And he did a perfect job because he's completely surrendered to Krishna. So if you become completely surrendered to Krishna, you'll be able to do miraculous things. But if you're attached to gold and money, you will be a failure the rest of your life. You have to, gold is considered to be yellow stool. Yellow stool. That's how dangerous it is. But yet people are willing to die for their gold. So that's where we are right now. The material world is completely in confusion. But by hearing regularly this Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we can get out of the illusion. And you can learn reality. You know, I mean, you didn't know that the Big Bang was a bluff. You found out today. You didn't know that they didn't go to the moon. Were you here when I was lecturing and they didn't go to the moon? You missed that.
I will forward the video.
He'll forward you.
Yeah, I have seen that before. And also Prabhupada talking about
Yeah.
within the shadows.
You want to learn the truth, you come to the class. You want to be fooled, you just listen to the news. Okay, are there any questions? We'll stop right there. Thank you very much. We'll go to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
And then, with respect to the things, do you want me to send it?
Not yet.